Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And breaking here at 5, murder charges against the teenager police say gunned people down at random this past weekend in Detroit. And tonight we're hearing from a man hit by the gunfire, but has thankfully survived.
Let's start with the charges here at 5. 19-year-old Dante Smith faces 3 separate counts of first-degree murder, 1 for each person killed in the shooting rampage. They include 28-year-old Shane Lewis Lee, 43-year-old Larry Briscoe, and a Jane Doe of unknown age. 76-year-old John Pollock of Detroit and his dog both survived being shot. And today he spoke with our Sean Lay. And Sean has that and the breaking new developments in this case. Sean.
And Devin, we're in the neighborhood where all this took place. So many lives impacted by this as we continue to dig into exactly what happened. You mentioned John here. He was shot in the leg. He could have easily lost his life. Even his dog Kingston. Look at the cast on Kingston here as Kingston is recovering, taking a gunshot wound to his paw and his leg. And you're right, we're getting the first look at the suspected shooter in court today with the charges. And there's even more to this story.
This is Kingston. He's going to be 2 years old, 11/25. He's still a pup.
You can tell Kingston is hurting.
An animal senses something wrong with you, and he's really staying right next to me, right with me.
Kingston still protecting his owner, John Pollock. Pollock was shot in the leg early Sunday morning as he was walking Kingston. He had no idea the young man walking towards him.
There was a guy, I was going this way, and the guy was coming this way.
Was an active shooter. Police say he just shot and killed 3 innocent people, and his next victim was John Pollock.
He stayed behind the car and shot. First 2 shots hit him. And then the second 2 shots, he got me right in here.
The gunshot ripping right through Pollock's leg. It could have hit an artery and killed him on the spot. But the shots kept coming, 10 shots in all.
This guy had to be a terrible shot.
What John later found out, it was his neighbor who was firing all those shots back at the shooter, chasing him away. Your neighbor saved your life.
My neighbor saved my life, yes. And instead of him going confronting someone else, he went into hiding because we broke his pattern. And I honestly feel that way.
Officially charged, 19-year-old Dante Smith charged with 3 counts of murder, assault with intent to murder, and animal cruelty.
It just wasn't my time. It was meant for me to stay here. Man, don't turn around and walk away. Go out there and help, alert. The police can't do their job if we don't help them.
Back here live on Detroit's west side, the police need your help tonight as family members of the victims are in just shock and in mourning. However, one of the victims remains a Jane Doe at this hour. Absolutely heartbreaking. She was shot and killed by the suspected shooter at 5:30 a.m. So she would be the second victim of the shootings right at Margarita and Wyoming, right down the street from the first shooting. She's 5'6", 165 pounds. She had long braids. She had a white hooded sweater. That's a sketch there, but on your right-hand side of the screen, 2 pictures there. She had a multicolored purse that may stand out to family and friends with her. She also had on green, distinctive New York basketball shorts on, and that multicolored purse as well. Please call Detroit Police if you can help them identify the Jane Doe from the shootings. Back here live, John continues to recover. You can see he's up walking around Kingston, taking some walks as well. John would like to thank the person who chased off the shooter with all those gunshots here in his neighborhood. He doesn't know who he is at this time. If he meets him one day, he's going to thank him very much. We're live on the west side tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, we'll wish John and Kingston both quick recoveries. All right, Sean.
That's right.
Also breaking here at 5, we're tracking a setback for supporters of abortion rights in Michigan. It may be temporary, but it's a setback nonetheless. In the past hour, the Michigan Board of Canvassers deadlocked on a proposal for the November ballot, which was designed to make abortion rights part of the state constitution. Local 4's Rod Maloney was there for the vote. Rod, just kind of explain how this all played out.
Well, the way this goes, Kimberly, is that there are 2 members, Democrats, 2 members Republican on the State Board of Canvassers. And then they vote on a particular issue, and if they deadlock 2-2, that means that the motion fails. And so what was up was whether to send the abortion proposal, in fact, to get their right, their reproductive freedom for all, that's the name of the group, their petition onto the November ballot. Well, they deadlocked at 2-2, which means it does not go to the ballot, at least initially. Now, there is also the opportunity, and you're looking at video now from the hearing that went all day and is still ongoing now, that this can get sent to the Supreme Court now. It's likely to be appealed. But the issue for the Board of Canvassers was a very long run-on group of words. In other words, there was no spacing between the words. And to quote the chairman, he said that we did not approve the language that was circulated. That's from Tony Dunn. That's an exact quote from him. He said he wouldn't approve the language today that got approved back in March. And so he and the other Republican member voted no to send it to the ballot. And so now it is not headed there. But let's hear from both sides. Darcy McConnell for the reproductive freedom for all, and also from Genevieve Mornan from Michigan Right to Life.
Well, we won't say disappointed because we still feel confident. We had more than 730,000 people read, signed, and understood what they signed. The board was supposed to do one thing today and affirm that we had the signatures. Their own bureau said that we did. So we're still optimistic that we'll be on the ballot in November.
And how so? Because you intend to take it to the Supreme Court?
Well, I'll probably let our attorney talk about that, but the next step likely would be the request for a judicial intervention to ask the board to do its duty and certify us for the November ballot.
It's kind of what we thought it would be. We were hoping to peel off one of the Democrat canvassers to agree with us that we can't put non-English words into the Constitution, but alas, that didn't happen. Now the fight's at the Supreme Court.
What is your expectation of what's to happen there?
You know, it's hard to know because the Supreme Court justices take their job very seriously, and I think they're going to look at the evidence, and I hope that they will rule that this cannot go into the Constitution. We can't put gibberish in our Constitution.
It is likely we will have that hearing very soon because they have to have the ballots out by September 6th. We'll have more at 6. Reporting live from Lansing, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
We'll talk to you then, Rod. The race to restore power to tens of thousands of homes and businesses in our area still has a long way to go. Right now, around 171,000 DTE customers still without power after Monday night's storms. The utility estimates crews will have restored power by 50% or to 50% of those who lost it by the end of today. The goal by the end of tomorrow is 80% of restoration, but that still means a lot of folks without it heading into the weekend. Megan Woods live with a look at how people are coping right now as they wait for crews on their street. Megan?
That's right. We're here in Shelby Township, right off of 22 Mile, where traffic is pretty backed up. But you see, traffic lights just turned on moments ago. DTE arrived maybe just a few minutes ago to turn those back on. So it's getting a little bit better out here. But we know this outage is widespread. We talked to people in Farmington Hills, West Bloomfield, Detroit about how they're going on days without power.
You have to get candles and stuff, and then you got to put the candles out when you leave because you don't want to catch your house catch on fire. And then you got to get ice and stuff to cover your food up, or your food won't get spoiled.
That's just part of the harsh reality thousands are still facing. Traffic lights are down.
Almost every single light, you have to be careful crossing so you don't get hit. Businesses like this Detroit gas station were forced to close. It's an inconvenience for anyone planning to fuel up. We run emergency services throughout Detroit. We do water and sewer. So we are going to have to add a lot more time on our day to be able to service our machinery and then service our trucks with more fuel and obviously nourishment for the guys to get something to drink while we're out. DTE believes by the end of Thursday, 80% of the customers who experienced an outage will have power restored. We're trying really hard today to make sure all the schools in the city are back and that they're ready to go. And then all the schools that are in session this week that have started are ready to try to get them back. So we focus on those things first, along with the wire downs and safety. And then we move to like our largest outages. 1,000 linemen from out of state are here helping out. And that's on top of the more than 1,000 DTE linemen who were already in the field. We're working around the clock 24/7. Everybody's all in. And we're going to keep grinding on this until we're able to get every last customer back.
DTE also has water and ice distribution sites that close at 7 tonight, but they have other locations opening up tomorrow depending on that need, and we'll have more information on that on clickondetroit.com. And in difficult times like this, we see communities step up, and we'll have more on that tonight at 6. Live in Shelby Township, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
All right, Megan, we'll see you then.
One hurdle is now cleared for new COVID-19 vaccines. Today, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration gave a green light to updated boosters aimed at the most dominant variants. Dr. Frank McGeorge joins us with what you need to know about the change and if you should plan to get the new shot. Doc?
Yeah, Kim, so the updated vaccines are expected to enhance protection against the most dominant variants that are circulating in the U.S. right now. Those are Omicron BA4 and BA5, as well as boosting overall protection with a component, of course, aimed at the original coronavirus strain. If you are due for a boost to your COVID vaccine, this is the best option right now.
In the U.S., BA5 continues to be the dominant variant, last week causing nearly 9 out of 10 new COVID infections, according to CDC estimates.
I really would love to be ahead of this variant this season.
That's what the updated COVID-19 boosters are aimed at doing. It's a bivalent vaccine, which means it contains mRNA encoding from the original coronavirus spike protein together with mRNA encoding the spike protein from the Omicron BA4 and BA5 variants. Both Moderna and Pfizer have been given initial emergency use authorization from the FDA for their updated boosters. The updated Moderna booster will be available for people 18 and up, while the Pfizer booster will be for age 12 and up. There has been criticism that the FDA and CDC are moving too quickly with the updated boosters. But to be clear, the issue is not over safety, it's over proven effectiveness.
The data that we are looking at is related to very, very small changes in the mRNA sequence and really shouldn't impact safety at all. There's always a question here of being too slow versus too fast. And I think one of the challenges is if we wait for those data to emerge in human data, not just mice data, in human data, we will be using what I would consider to be a potentially outdated vaccine.
Now, the primary vaccine series is not changing, meaning if you've never been vaccinated, you will still get the original vaccine to start. However, when it's time to get boosted, if you are over 12, this updated bivalent booster is going to replace the original booster that was authorized. Also, the CDC's advisory committee is still going to need to issue its recommendations in the next 2 days, but they are, of course, expected to give a similar go-ahead, meaning the boosters could be available after Labor Day. Back to you.